Hey guys, just wanted to make a video today to talk about a few things that have been on my mind. Firstly, face tattoos are all healed up. Uh, Excited for my next appointment coming up right away here. I'm going to be doing some more over on the shoulder here. I can't really see. I'm actually wearing a shirt for this video, which is rare for me. I'm sure someone's probably noticed that already. Anyway, um, going to be doing that Wednesday morning, so expect a video after that appointment. And my cartilage is pretty well healed now. I've got a silicone um, tunnel in there now in your skin, which is super comfortable. I was actually able to sleep on that side comfortably. I mean, I've been kind of sleeping on it the last little while, but there's been a little bit of pain when I do. Like in the morning, I'll wake up. Even just because the jewelry was longer and kind of firmer, it would sort of press into the side of my head a little bit if I had slept on it. So there would be a little bit of pain there. And plus, whenever you're wearing like really rigid jewelry and your cartilage, it tends to just be a little uncomfortable. It doesn't breathe the same way. It's a little too stiff for that area. Anyway, off of the cartilage. I put up a video of my new and improved bodysuit, or at least kind of the mid. I consider it the midpoint. Like I did a bodysuit video for my Instagram. I want to say 6 months ago, when I had finally attached the hips to from the front to the back. Like I had a little bit of a gap there for about a year, and I just was busy with other things and kind of wasn't dealing with it. So finally, I decided to fill those spaces, and then I thought, it's time to finally show off the whole torso in one video, right? I think that would be something cool to do. I've shared this video on Instagram quite a few times, and people always love it. So I decided I've gotten enough done to the suit since that video that it's time for me to do an updated one, right? So I shared the video, and once again, it's done fairly well, and it's always flattering. Like, I don't take for granted that people really enjoy my artwork that I've been getting done and stuff. I'm always moved by the support that I get. People share it, and people are tagging their friends and stuff, and people are complimenting the work and complimenting me on being brave, and especially now that the black, like lots of people find that takes a lot of courage to do, super heavy black work in a North American world where um, people are afraid to have an arm tattoo sometimes. Silly as I find that, as you can imagine. Um, but anytime I have a post go really well, super viral, anytime it gets shared and anytime it hits the hashtags really hard and all that stuff, you get a lot of positive, like inordinate amount of positive, I should say, more than I normally would. Um, but you also get some nasty comments. You get some mean people. They are out there. There aren't that many of them that I experience. Like, okay, so there are quite a few that I experience, right? But relative to the positive, it isn't much. So I made a little video on my Instagram, I want to say probably close to a year ago now. I actually uploaded it to YouTube too. It's very short because at that point I was just doing Instagram videos, and Instagram only allows for, like, I think a minute. I mean, other than that, you're chopping it up in your stories, or you're uploading it more than one time to get the whole thing out, right? And what's the chance that someone's going to see two videos back to back in their feed? So I did a little video, sorry to rant, on Instagram last year about how the world has changed and um, how I used to get a lot more negative feedback than positive feedback, and now it's kind of the other way around. Um, it does still happen though. Like, for example, when my video went viral here Saturday, I got a comment as late as I think it was last night, so Sunday night. And it was not a smart comment. It was not like a really well thought out comment or anything like that. The guy just said how to be unemployable, right? Like that was his comment. And for whatever reason, and it normally doesn't bother me, maybe I was in the wrong state of mind when I read it, but that one really pissed me off. And I decided I'd comment back. I ended up deleting the whole thing and just blocking the guy because it's not worth my energy. But I said to him, and this is the main point of this video, how in the hell do you think I paid for as many tattoos as I have? Not even many, like as many hours as I have if I was unemployable. Okay? Like, how do you expect me to get the money to go week after week for years on end paying for tattoos? Not to mention the fact that most people are, they'll get a tattoo every few months. How do you expect I made the kind of money that I have to be able to pay for these tattoos? Like, of course, the guy responds as dumb as his original comment was. His response was even dumber. It was even dumber than the original comment was. He said, I figured washing windows. And so that's when I was going to type a response. I was going to get on his level with him, but then I just deleted the whole thing and thought, this isn't worth my energy, and it's not worth me putting something here to validate it. And, normally I just let it roll off, and I consider it even good. Like, people will give me nasty comments sometimes, and I'm thinking, well, any interaction on Instagram is good interaction, because the more comments you get, the more viewed your video is generally. Like, that's just the way Instagram works. Like, the more people are talking about you or on your comments and stuff, the more perceived interest there is, and then Instagram will push it more in hashtags and stuff. So usually, if I get a mean comment, I'll leave it there. I won't really engage with it, but I won't take it off either. But this time, I just was gonna stick my foot in my mouth or something, give him a chance to report me for saying something rude, and I'm like, this guy is not worth the time of day for me, I expect that if I were to get similarly big on, YouTube, I would get that kind of stuff too. And I think the bigger my Instagram gets, the more I'm going to have to figure out what to do with stuff like that, whether I just leave it or if it's, sometimes I've engaged it and it's been a little bit fun even, like, because I've dealt with this stuff in person, like I've been living as a tattooed pierced guy for basically my entire adult life and most of my teenage life. I've had this kind of stuff come my way, and I mean, I'm probably going to do some videos about some of my experiences in, say, high school and middle school, being the different kid, and what that can be like to deal with growing up. But I get a lot of people asking me if I get discriminated against or if I've had a hard time because of the way I look. I think that it's a separate issue on employment. That's something I get asked even more. I should probably do a video about that and just talk about that sometime, or even more than one. But the social aspect of it is honestly mostly positive these days. I think that the people who lash out like that guy did Sunday night, they're either jealous or they're wishing that they were in a better space, or they're angry about something. I don't have any problem with that guy necessarily either. Like, I looked at his page and he seemed like a normal, decent guy. He wasn't like the kind of guy you'd go, oh, that guy looks like a jackass. I didn't chalk it up to that. I just always wonder the deeper meaning. Like, what's this guy unhappy about? And why am I the target for his anger right now? Like, did this picture really upset him so much that he had to say that? Because honestly, I scroll through Instagram too, Facebook, whatever. I see all kinds of stuff, right? I see some stuff I don't like, but I just scroll past it, because why waste the energy? Why expend the energy on being negative in a world where there's so much negative to be upset about anyway? Why spread that like that? I think the only time you should comment at all is something nice or something interesting or something that could lead to some real dialogue, not just hateful rhetoric like that, right? There's too much of that. That's kind of why I don't like Facebook these days. It's so politicized and angry all the time. I find that Instagram has a little less of that, but maybe I'm just not reading enough of the comments. Or maybe I should just stop reading all of mine. I don't know. But as I said, overwhelmingly positive. It's just the odd times you still get mean or nasty comments from people, and just trying not to take it to heart. And that happens in real life too. Like I had a woman I work with today actually asked me. She didn't say it in an offensive way, but you could tell like the people I work with aren't tattooed. They're not like me, right? Like I'm kind of an anomaly where I work, but they've accepted that. So when they do ask me questions, it's always kind of like they really just don't know, and that if they're rude, they don't mean to be. But she said, "How many times are you gonna get tattooed? Like, when is it gonna end?" And it's like, well, it probably never. Because most of my body has been done 2, 3, even up to 4 or 5 times. I've got very few spaces that don't have some amount of tattooing on them. Like I've got some places to do left on my legs, but I think I'm almost saving that because I don't really want to be finished entirely. Because I don't do this because I want the coverage, which is what people would assume. Oh, he just wants to be totally covered. That's part of it. That is a huge part of it. I do love being covered, but the biggest part is I actually just really enjoy it now. It's become my art form. I think like some people like watching hockey, or some people like playing lots of video games. I like video games too. Some people really like reading certain novel series, or some people play volleyball, or ride waves, or skateboard, or bike, whatever. This is what I do. It's expensive and it's painful, but this is what I love. And I find that if I don't get tattooed every once a week or every couple weeks at the longest, I get a little bit weird. Like I get a little bit angrier. I get a little bit well, I shouldn't say angrier, but I get a little bit irritable. And I get a little bit stir crazy, like I'll rearrange something in the house, or all of a sudden I got to stretch a piercing or something, right? And I don't even think that it's the pain that I'm addicted to, because at one point I thought it might be, but now I just think that it's seeing progress, seeing change. If I don't see progress or change, what I see instead is stagnation. I see I could do something better, or I could fix something. This could be different. Maybe it's not better, but different. Like I just want to be improving or changing something. I said in a post on Instagram recently that my personal hell would be one where I can't change my looks anymore. I can't modify myself. People who've been following me for a long time, even just since I've been on Instagram, could see that I've looked different throughout even just the last few years. If you go back as far as 15 years, you wouldn't even recognize me. And I don't think that I ever want to give that up. I think I want to always be able to do that, no matter how old I am. I think I'll be doing it when I'm an old man. People say, what are you going to look like when you're old? Well, that's anyone's guess. Like, it's really, really hard for me to actually say. And that's not me being vague. That's just the facts of the matter. Like, if I knew I would look like I do now, 15 years ago, I don't even know if I would have been happy with that, right? It's all a journey. It's the same thing as inside. You change in ways you can't expect based on what you deal with in life day by day, or if big events happen, you will change. I've always considered that my body is a bit of an extension on that idea. I've changed a lot as I've grown as a person, and my body and my face and my style and everything like that has changed too. And I just think that that's a really human way to live. Anyway, I don't know if anyone will find any of this interesting. It's a bit different than what I normally do. I just thought that it might be cool to share a little bit of my thoughts about my journey and some of the feedback that I get. And I didn't want to make this too long, and I think I've already made it too long, so I should cut this off now. But I will be doing another video here Wednesday or Thursday after my tattoo, and I'll be showing off what I've got done, talking about the amount of pain that it was and what that spot will be like to heal, and all that kind of stuff. Just typical stuff that I've been doing. So if you like this video or the other videos I've been doing, I'm Ephemeral Remy on Instagram. If you haven't checked me out on there, definitely follow me on Instagram and share these videos. Okay, have a great day.